This episode was co-produced with Startup Days, the leading startup conference in Switzerland. Swisspreneurs' goal is to advance entrepreneurship in Switzerland, so we've partnered up with Startup Days to produce 5 episodes with key Swiss ecosystem players. If you'd like to see them up close and personal, get your ticket for Startup Days 2022, taking place on May 19th in Bern. Visit startupdays.ch. Together, we make Switzerland more startup.
The coolest thing to see in the daily business is when the team brings home those big deals. Bigger deals than I ever closed at Yokoy. So I'm not the first one on the leaderboard anymore, which is, I'm super proud of that.
Welcome to the Swisspreneur Show, a podcast about startup stories and learnings from experienced entrepreneurs. Here's your host, Sylvan.
Lars, a very well welcome back to the Swisspreneur Show. You're already a serial guest here, so glad to have you here again.
The pleasure is mine, Sylvan. Thanks for inviting me.
You're the co-founder and CCO at Yokoy, the spend management solution. And I want to know in the first place, why did you actually start Yokoy? What was the motivation behind that?
So when we started Yokoy, actually, we were still very focused on making people's lives easier with automating expenses. And that resulted then into building up our portfolio and going into full spend management, also adding a credit card to make also your life easier when you're on a trip, when you have to pay stuff, when you have to buy software. So we went from expenses into spend to really make the way much easier and much more efficient on how companies spend money. Amazing.
And how do you differentiate yourself from other solutions out there? I'm sure you have a very specific angle that you tackle there.
Absolutely. So I think most of the traditional solutions that you see digitize the way on how it's done, in a very traditional way. And the approach that we have is not to just like digitize anything, but really automate things and really put, things that are very, very recurring spends that you have and expenses that are in line with your policy. We really automate them. So the goal that we have with Yokoy is really to get 80% just fully automated, full on autopilot, and nothing that is checked by a human's eye.
That certainly saves your clients a lot of time and hassle. I also wonder, what does a typical day in your life look like? I know, you're famous for closing many big deals. Now you're also hiring like crazy. So is there anything like a typical day in the life of Lars?
So there's not like a typical day in my life. And a fun fact, every time I'm here with you, my day looks different than the last time when I was here. I'm not closing big deals by myself anymore. So I really hired a great team. So I have now all my country managers in place, and they have their team in place. So right now, the things that I'm focusing on is really the expansion, going into new countries, and also like the whole hiring part, ramping up. Right now, our office in Amsterdam, the team that we are building up there. So that is really what I'm focused on, and there's not like a typical day, so it's always different.
I wonder, because I know how much you love closing deals or sending shoes around in boxes. Don't you miss that, to close the big deals yourself?
Yes, I do miss it, but and that's the beautiful thing about building up your team. It's so, for me, the coolest thing to see in the daily business is when the team brings home those big deals, bigger deals than I ever closed at Yokoy. So I'm not the first one on the leaderboard anymore, which is I'm super proud of that. Like, that's really the way you want to go, right? That you have people in place that do it better than you and bring in bigger deals. So I'm super proud of that.
You basically help them to do bigger and better things than ever before.
Yes, exactly. So and that is also my role. I mean, I have to support my team that they have everything they need to be successful and to close big deals. I mean, if a big deal is coming like to the end stages, they still have the possibility to take me into the call, and I really love doing that, and then helping them, pushing it, and so I'm still involved, just not as much as I used to be before.
So you can still celebrate with the team and ring your deal bell.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not me ringing them, but
sure.
I will certainly attend the party afterwards.
Fantastic. We also want to talk about challenges, and one thing that really impresses me with your journey is you basically scaled Yokoy from 40 to 200 employees in just a few months. So there are certainly a lot of challenges there. What was the biggest one for you along that journey?
Oh boy. There were so many. I think one challenge when you grow like from a family to a company is certainly the culture, and that was one of the challenges that I experienced in my team, because you certainly you build structures, right? You have new managers that you have to put into the organization. You have people that have been there for a long time, and you have to build also processes up, structures on commission plans, promotion paths, and career plans, and that was like a really big challenge to go through that transition, and then implement that strategy to the whole sales organization, right? Because you have different countries, and they again have different ways of how they sell, and then implementing also a methodology where you can also track like the performance overall. That was a big challenge.
Did you learn all of that yourself, or did you also get some external help to set these things up? Because I can imagine as a founder, if you never went through that stage yourself, it can be very difficult to know what you have to do. Yeah,
absolutely. I'm a super lucky guy that I'm surrounded by many great people that did it before. So I have, I'm very active in the community of other sales officers and also startup founders, and we also have great investors on board. So they help us a lot with that, and I'm anyways the guy always asking for help when I'm in a challenge. So I always ask others like, how did you do that? So I was super lucky to get a lot of inputs and do's and don'ts from other very smart people.
Fantastic. The other challenge when you grow that quickly is, of course, hiring. You need to find but also attract the right talent. How did you solve that?
Yeah, so right now the market is crazy. It's not just like you put on a position and people apply to it and you get them, because there are so many cool startups right now that are scaling and growing, and of course the Sequoia announcement helped us a lot there. So it's it's much easier now because everyone wants to join you said it before, the rocket ship. So
you're on the map.
Exactly. So now they want to join us, and that's really cool for getting talent to Yokoy. But it's still a challenge, right? You have, for example, in sales, and really sales tech, that is always super difficult to hire. We are building up now the internal recruiting team, and they're doing a great job, really nailing down the ideal candidate profile, and then really target the people that are a fit for Yokoy. Before we had an interim solution that we were working with a lot of different external recruiters, because in Switzerland you need a different recruiter than in Germany or in the Netherlands, whatever. And now, we still have this dual strategy. So we have recruiters, we have the internal recruiting team, and yes, but still it's a challenge, right? We cannot fill the position as fast as we would like to.
So basically, you are still in the business of sales. Now you just don't sell your product, but you sell your company.
Absolutely.
To attract the right talent.
The vision, the company, and the crazy journey that we're on.
Absolutely. And there's another thing that I would also like to talk about. A potential challenge is the whole organizational readiness. Before you scale, you need to be ready to actually scale, because if you scale too early, if you're not ready, you can actually break your company, and that can end in a very bad way. So can you talk a bit more about how you felt that you're ready to scale, if there was such a thing at Yokoy?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks God that I have also smart co-founders. and a few of them also worked in consulting, so they also know how to build up an organization and how to make sure that it doesn't fall together like a house of cards.
Right.
So we got a chief of staff on board, and he's also building up his team and driving all of our initiatives, and also making sure that we have the processes in place and we have the fundament ready that we can build up and add people to it, and that this will not happen. And he did a great job, because seeing a company going from 40 to 200 almost, it's like it's crazy. It's day and night. Like I said before, you go from a big family to a company, right?
Exactly. And in that regard, we often hear also that the communication channels, they break down. You have to establish new ways of communication.
Yeah.
So it's not only about processes like sales and onboarding, but also very much about communication.
Absolutely.
How do you solve that?
I mean, when we were still like 40 people, everyone could just post in any Slack channel.
Right.
And that changed a lot now. Now you have to establish a communication strategy, how you can communicate, globally, the whole company, just for Zurich, and the streams that you have for sales, for product. Also the way on, how you announce new product features. It's not the product team anymore going to the company or to the sales team. You have now product marketing, and there's like no direct communication between product and sales anymore. And that was also a challenge for us, right? Because we had account executives, very charming people that went directly to the product team telling them they need something and not going the right way. So we really had to make everyone live and breathe the processes that we took in place. So yes, the communications channels, they have changed a lot. Also the way on how we use software, right? I mean, before, we just purchase like any cool SaaS tool that you might need to work with. And now there's also strategy on, that we don't have overlaps and that we do smart decisions on when we get software on board. So that changed a lot, yes.
Wow, that's like such an intense journey that
Absolutely.
you just described. And I also wonder in that regard, how do you manage the internal communication? Like, do you still do all hands meetings with all your offices around Europe now, or how does that work? How do you make sure that you have the right internal communication? Because that's also completely different from 40 to 200 people.
Absolutely. So do you mean on a company level or on a
company level?
Okay. So that changed a lot. So what we have is we have monthly company updates. So that's just where like the whole team attends, the whole company. Where it's about where we're sending the strategy, updates to, like, for example, the funding topic that we had before about Sequoia. So we also include the team there that when we are doing a funding round, so they know, obviously. So there we have like all of the company updates on a very high level, 30 minutes, the whole company attending. And what we try to do, obviously, is try to not have all of the team in meetings all day long, right? That's something that can happen if you grow very fast, that you want to include everyone into every meeting, and that's just not the way how you can be efficient, right? Yeah. So we have the global ones, and then it breaks down to your department, where you have weekly, bi-weekly meetings with your team, and of course, you only like half an hour meeting if you have a big group, and if you do like working sessions, you have longer meeting times, for example, an hour if you're really like with your team. For example, my country manager Switzerland, he has a 1 hour meeting with his team every week, go through the funnel, go through the deals where they are stuck, where he can help, and then he escalates to me again, and so goes the ladder again. So we try to stay efficient there, and still focus on our job, because in the end, I mean, we're now 200, but we will for sure go to 400.
Right.
And we can't allow to lose any speed, right? We want to keep that speed on that fast scaling, and not building barriers here to grow fast.
Would you say it's fair to say that before it was you, the founders, and then you had employees, and now to grow faster and to not lose that speed, it's all about establishing that middle management?
Agree. agree, and that's also what we did. We already started with that when we raised our Series A round to really also build up a strong mid-management team that if any one of us get hit by a boss, or you never know, right? Yeah. That you have a team in place that can take over, and that the company is more independent of us, and I think that is a very, very important thing. And I can tell you, if you will lock me up here today, that we will still do sales, so no worries about that.
But I also imagine that what you just said, it's so important, and I guess that founders who are able to let go and say, I want to make the company independent from me, those are the companies that can successfully scale. Other founders who just want to still control everything, that will never work.
I totally agree with you, and I mean, we spoke about this already. I don't have a big ego as a founder. I mean, the time will come when now we're growing to like a mid-sized company. If you look at a global scale, for Switzerland it's already pretty big. But I mean, the next step, if we scale this thing to 100 million ARR, there's also a different profile needed to lead such a team.
Of course.
And for me, I'm really looking forward to the moment when we get someone on board, like a CRO of a big tech company. Like if I can say it this way, if the CRO of Oracle would be interested to join Yokoy and to bring us to the next level, I would hire right away my new boss and giving it to him, to scale the company further.
And then you go on vacation. What would you do?
No, I would support him and learn from him, of course, or from her.
Right. So now we talked about the challenges, but I also wonder, had you wished for any more or different support along the journey so far? Because it's a very intense journey that you went through. Is there anything that you had wished for to get more support, to get whatever, to make your life easier?
I mean, I really can't complain because I received a lot of support. I think it also, that also goes along with if you ask actively people to help. A lot of the people and organizations are super, super happy to help. The thing is that still, and that's what I and you know that I anyways wish for. I mean, in Switzerland, we just don't have that platform like in the US where you can connect with other founders and really discuss topics, together at a round table. So I'm also actively, and now together with Unique, the next CSO roundtable will be at the Yokoy office. But I would really wish for more of a community where you can also discuss topics together that are keeping you up at night. That's something that is missing, and also it's also hard when you do like an expansion to new countries. Just so much stuff that slows you down again. Mm-hmm. So there, if there would just be like some kind of a forum where you can speak to people that have already been through that, you can avoid a lot of, I would not say mistakes, but a lot of things that can potentially slow you down, right? Right.
Yeah. Good point. Who do you think would be a good party or a good organization to take care of the community part?
You.
You give me homework now.
Of course, no. You need of course commitment then from a lot of people. It's not just one person. I push this as much as I can, and I said it many times already. Meeting up with other entrepreneurs, but I think, and I mean, you know me, I'm a very optimistic and a very positive human, and I'm really excited for where we are going now, because this feeling of bringing people together and having these platforms to talk about it's getting more and more, and we have more entrepreneurs, more startups, and also now with US investors like Sequoia, like Left Lane, and they're really now investing in Europe, and they really like the Swiss startups. They really like the quality of the startups that we have here. So there will be a lot of change. That is for sure.
It's a fantastic momentum in the ecosystem right now.
Yeah.
Also, one question I'm really interested to hear your answer is, if we zoom out a bit, what do you think any individual or organization can do to make Switzerland more startup?
So I think what we need to lay down is the way of thinking that this has worked always for us, but really ask yourself, like, how can we make it even more efficient, more cooler, and really think outside of the box and be much more creative. And I'm saying this because when we pitched Expense Robot in the very first day, in the very early days, a lot of people were like, that's not going to work out, and you won't be successful with it. And we really believed in that vision, and we really pushed that vision. And I think that is really important also for if you're a traditional KMU, Swiss company.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in the end, that's really the backbone of Switzerland.
Right.
That is true. And a lot of those companies are really want to keep up with the future and want to build a culture that really embraces this AI automation wave that we're in right now. And that's also how we pitch Yokoy, by the way. That's also what made us successful, because those companies believed in the way that we change how finance organizations work. But I think, it has to be something that is that needs to be implemented in the DNA of those companies to really go for the values that we also stand for as Switzerland, right? Look at us as a country. Look at our infrastructure. And why we are so successful is because we always wanted to be the best and really the most innovative and a very high quality. So that is really important to not forget where we're coming from. I always say in German, nicht auf den Lorbeeren ausruhen. I think that is very important. Because the others are not sleeping as well, and we have a great talent here. So let's go.
So basically, keep pushing and believing in our strengths.
Absolutely, yeah.
We briefly talked about the ecosystem before, the momentum that we have. Where do you think we are going? Do we see more IPOs from Swiss startups in the future, more and bigger exits with all the US money like Sequoia in Yokoy investing here in Swiss companies? Where do you see are we heading as a Swiss startup ecosystem?
I think it's same as if you look at the sales pipeline. The more that you put in top of funnel, the more will drip down through your funnel. And same will be for the ecosystem. We will see IPOs, we will see exits, and we will see crazy funding rounds. I mean, our Series B for Switzerland, that was really crazy, and the feedback that we got was like, it was just like crazy. And I'm sure that the next one will be here tomorrow that will raise 150 million Series B round. So that's super exciting. And as I said before, also the investors and really the big names, they are really actively scouting in Switzerland, which is really good.
It's a fantastic development for the whole ecosystem, certainly. So what are you going to do with the 80 million that you raised? What's planned for the near future at Yokoy?
Oh, there's so many things. It's not pocket money and we go on vacation. So we have to build up the organization and make it even more efficient and bigger. And I mean the top topics that are on top of our head right now is really the expansion of Yokoy. So we really want to go into new markets and building up the team in those markets. And that is certainly our highest priority. And with that, of course, hiring a great team, get the best people on board that we can get. So those are the main topics. The main topics for now. And then, of course, also product-wise, there's a lot going on right now. So the vision that we really have is that every dollar a company spent goes through Yokoy. So every franc, every euro, every US dollar that is not related to payroll is going through Yokoy. And we have a lot of big names already doing that with Yokoy, which we are super proud of.
I love that vision. I think it's very powerful. Do you also have any exit or IPO plans?
Right now, there's just one plan that is scaling up and make it even bigger. And first we need to do the work before we can really think about that.
You might get acquired along the way, but it's not the goal.
It's not the goal, for sure not right now, yeah.
Lars, you know what's coming at the end? Some rapid fire questions.
Uh-oh.
So I either give you different options to choose from or a quick question you have to answer in one sentence.
A quick question I answer in one sentence.
Of course. Was your job more stressful at 40 or at 200 people?
A different stress. But
Okay.
it's more stressful at 200 because it's new stuff that I learn as well, and I have to be in different places at the same time. So I will choose 200.
Fair point. What was your summer job as a teenager?
Oh, I had different summer jobs. I was working in an elderly home because that was right across the street. I was also how do you call it, Wümme in English? Like from the if you have the wine yards.
Oh yeah.
And you have to get all the grapes.
I have no clue how you say that in English, but
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
that's what I did because where I grew up in Vlocht, it's Zurich Weinland. You have a lot of vineyards.
Fantastic. What are you most proud of in your life?
I'm super proud, of course. So most proud of Yokoy, of course. Yeah, what we built up there, and you know, it also. People come to me and they say they were super inspired by our story and they founded the startup and they're asking us now for support, for help. And I also had the chance to invest in some of very cool Swiss startups, so I'm super proud of that. Yeah,
amazing. In that regard, next question: investor or founder?
Always founder.
Easy choice.
Always founder. Easy choice.
Schindellegi or Zurich?
Zurich.
Why Zurich?
Zurich has a talent pool, also you have trams, you have trains, you have everything. Schindellegi is just like a mountain with a nice view and not many people. But also great minds in Schindellegi, by the way.
Fair, yeah. And I wonder, do you have a favorite song to celebrate a new closed deal?
Yeah, I do. My team knows they're already sick and tired of the song. It's Can't Tell Me Nothing by Kanye West.
Oh, nice. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Lars, thank you so much for coming on the show again. Always a pleasure talking to you and just continue that impressive journey. All the best and lots of success.
Thank you, Silvan. It was a pleasure to be here.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, you can support us by rating our show on Apple Podcasts. This way, we can reach an ever-growing number of aspiring entrepreneurs.